Right now, they don't have any ways to cancel the Mortimer's Kisses, which isn't required, but it always feels nice. They're spending all their extra time on these two picks here. This is, I agree. This is the crucial part where they're trying to figure out what makes most sense. And, whew, Death Prophet, new hero.
They're death balling. This is
right.
This is a classic. I'm Luna.
Explain.
I'm Luna.
No,
I have.
Explain like a person. Elaborate
Sorry.
like a person.
What?
The death ball. What viewers don't know what that
Well, her
means.
name is
TI4.
Death
Did you
Prophet,
watch
so she death
TI4?
balls.
This is TI4 Dota right
That's
here.
my favorite TI.
Okay, so
Mine too.
if you're a
My favorite
viewer that doesn't know what death balling is, it's where you group up as a ball of death and you kill everyone in your way and you push towers and you win fast.
And why is this good with Luna?
It is good with Luna because her aura and her abilities and spells are very strong and allow her to fight early. She's also very good at pushing towers with her team. When they are together, they are stronger. They have more damage. So Death Prophet, whose ability on her ult allows her to push towers, she synergizes with that. As she can stand next to Luna, they both have extra damage, push tower, take objective, take Roshan, go end with Aegis. Thank you. I was so stressful. Did I get an A, sir? Did I pass the test, sir?
You got an A-star.
Oh, an A star. Good.
Death Prophet also flexible between lanes.
So true.
That's one
so
thing
true.
I add is it can be mid or off lane. So if they feel like they get a good mid matchup, most matchups are pretty good. Send it mid, but really comes down to what they feel like is going to fit their draft based on what they see here.
He's a bit of a poor man's leader in the mid lane. It does decently in most matchups.
A little bit out of meta, but I love Death Prophet. At least when I see her in a draft like this, it looks like it fits. Like Ogre is gonna help fulfill that too. You bloodlust your carry, you make her just that little bit stronger. But Neon, they do have a draft that is okay into this type of tempo.
Sure.
Especially Elder Titan, if he's able to set up with Stomp, I think it's really difficult for Execration to disengage from that. They don't really have any disengage on their team right now.
What carry do you pick that would fit this as well to go with to try to deal with the death ball tempo?
A Monkey's ban. I was thinking Monkey's nice high tempo hero.
Like here's like Ursa Monkey. Is that what you're looking for?
Ursa could be okay actually.
They really need some wave clear too. I don't know if you. I feel like you can even save your carry for last and get some kind of mid with some wave clear.
Okay.
Because you need to be able to like a Hawk type hero. Viper. Okay.
This Viper's gonna
Put
Is that
down the
wave
nether
clear?
toxic. I mean, so yeah, semi wave clear, not like this super strong. Like you can cut waves and like really mess up the push by killing all the creep waves, but. Their team fight's just scary right now. Like I see OB.Neon strong. Like I'd much rather be playing their draft. It feels way simpler to execute. Defending your towers with this kind of a team fight shouldn't be too difficult for them.
Team ban.
I was thinking about Faceless Void for Neon in the idea of do they want to just team fight harder than Execration?
Right.
But there is an issue of if you chrono, then Execration are going to go take advantage of that. But similarly, if you use Death Prophet ult, then now you have cooldowns and Neon can take advantage of that. It's kind of like what team uses their ults better if you go down that route.
Right. So it does make your execution a bit harder than if you do that. Well, the Void ban.
Void's
So there's
banned. Goodbye, Void.
no question about that.
I don't really know what I'd pick if I was Neon. There is...
They need
Ranger.
some.
Maybe
They need objective taking of some kind. That's where the TA ban also makes sense.
yeah, something that hits towers.
Yeah.
Like Viper, when he has shard, will be able to do it. But last time I said that about a Viper, he didn't get his shard till like 36 minutes. I was like, dude,
Yeah.
what the hell?
Yeah, pros really hate that shard for some reason.
I don't know why. Like, it's really nice to like see how quickly it shreds buildings.
I agree. It also adds so much damage against heroes. Like genuinely, it's just a great shard.
Lovely shard. Well, yeah, something that hits towers, something that can deal more damage. Because right now they have a lot of magical damage, but they don't really have any physical damage on Neon. And especially when they're lowering armor with Elder Titan.
So DP Alpha, it seems like Battlers matchup against Viper is pretty bad for Viper. Just kind of running him over.
I actually don't know how that matchup goes. I'll
Really?
be real.
From
Yeah.
what I've seen, the Viper is like the moment you just overstep your boundary, which Batter knows in his mind, he just runs through you with Firefly. It's
But
also
can't Viper just like spell you? What the heck? Anti-mage.
It's crazy how like stock standard the first 4 picks were, and then these last 6 have been like
Oh yeah.
out of left field. Death Prophet, Bat, Viper, Anti-Mage. Whew.
the
Neon.
AM is
Against a Death Bowl line. I mean, they can defend towers, but AM is brave pick.
This is like Anti-Mage will solo carry this game if Neon, like his teammates, can absolutely carry the hell out of him for the first. And that's
Yeah.
hard into bat.
Yep.
Someone who is like known for destroying his lanes.
DP as well, because the amount of pushes she offers is kind of ridiculous afterwards. Even Luna.
Yeah, I'm worried for this Anti-Mage.
Even the lane isn't great. Like DP Weaver sounds pretty annoying when you've got a melee support in ET.
I mean, ET is like meant to win you your lanes. That's like his purpose, right? I don't know what the nerfs
New
do.
ET, does he still do that? And against like Weaver, he's just going to Shikuchi away.
So I don't ask this, but where are you citing, Sheeple? Just one word.
Execration.
Gods?
One word. How dare you? OB.Neon is 2 words.
Execration 2.
Okay, we'll see if it is Execration who indeed takes this game, or if it's going to be OB.Neon. For now, we're going to have to wait and see as we get into the game and into this wonderful cast narrated by MLP and johnxfire.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back. We are back into our game number 3 between Execration and OB.Neon, and it is MLP and johnxfire. John, that pesky panel, they have no faith in OB.Neon's draft. Neither do I, quite frankly, Jonathan, but I'd like you to tell us why they still have a chance.
Palos AM, we've heard it from Norman, right? Like the win condition is Palos, and you can already see him spamming out the Ares voice line there. So he's feeling good about himself. Bob already saying, I'm sorry about this, you know. I get my Bat Rider back, and, you know. Yeah, he's like, I might eat you guys. Vincenzo is throwing Bob under the under the bus, but
it's not Twitch chat, Vince. All right, calm down.
Oh yeah, you can see both sides are still in high spirits, but you know, this is a Bob special with a Bat Rider. The lane matchup against a Viper again, it's something that he can handle. We'll see if Mamang Daya can kind of work his way back. A lot of pressure on Palos to deliver here, Mike. He's got to carry the game. I don't know if they have enough control in stopping certain slippery heroes here from Execration as well on Neon side. Like, control for Carlos seems to be a big issue. Like, stopping the Weaver, just weaving in and out, dropping down the Swarm, getting these stacks up, what he earn, and just spamming that around seems to be might be a problem down the line for Neon because their stunts aren't immediate. So I'm keen to see the back and forth. Love to see the Palace AM, but he's got a lot of work to really put in this game, Mike.
Certainly does, Jonathan. So the all chat continues, but Palos, it does get spotted out and already is taking a substantial amount of damage. So I kind of wonder how much space they're going to be able to make for this AM, this game, right? Because you've got this Viper from Among Dire, and we've seen this from Among Dire before. He does play a pretty mean Viper. You've got the Mars there from Enryu as well. Then again, though, it's a Bob Bat Rider. And the DP in the off lane. It's a kind of a hard draft to keep up with if you do end up falling behind.
Yeah, they've got to play to a certain tempo here on Neon's side, and I think Execration, once they get that Death Ball running, it's going to be very hard for Neon to kind of stop it. They've got to get great uses out of their arena, kind of got to get the levels up in their support, get the combination out with the kisses as well, and try to get control from there. Let's see if they can get that done. We're taking a peek here up top in the matchup. Carlo on the Weaver, along with Kimizu and that DP, and you're already seeing Kimizu and Carlo just applying pressure onto Abing. Level 1 for the ET tends to be one of its strongest points. You know, you get the spirit out, you try to twack away, but you're a melee hero up against two very quick ranged heroes. So you can't really leverage that right-click damage you normally would want to do. At the least, he is kind of taking aggression off of Palos, allowing the AM to focus on last hitting, but you're not getting off that early zoning that you want to do on the ET here.
No, absolutely not. Of course, moving down to the bot lane, you've got Vincenzo there against Enryu and Narman, and of course he is joined by the lovely Nando on the Luna. Because Nando having a fabulous game last time around on the Medusa, this time around taking the Luna for himself. Definitely a lot of kill potential here down at this bot lane, it feels, with the Mars Snapfire. We'll see if they are able to catch up Vincenzo or Nando on that Luna. At least for now, though, they are going to just take it easy. And I'm sure Enryu's main focus will just be trying to deny as many creeps away from Nando. And trying to give him the same experience that Palos had last game around. At least for now, though, it does feel like Nando's having a pretty smooth time.
Not really being zoned out too hard. There is a double stun combination here for OB.Neon. Once they have the cookie, they can go into the spear, but you have to watch for the double soft stunts as well on Execration side, as they do manage to zone out Narman just a bit.
Well, Nando going to try and turn back around onto Narman, but he's running away, but Fire Blast is going to make it in first blood. Going to go the way of Execration as Nando does take it for himself. Enryu, he tried so hard to body block, but just wasn't quite enough to save.
And that's a great start for Nando. First blood, manages to build up on Luna, hit those farming spikes, hit those early item spikes, power treads into maybe the Mask of Madness to accelerate. As long as they protect their stacks in comparison to what happened to Neon in Game 2, you're going to be off to that snowball start that you want on the Luna. And I love what Vincenzo is doing, just putting his body forward. He's going to cop the spear back, but it's an ogre. He's tanky. He doesn't care.
It's a substantial amount of damage on Enryu. Nando, how far do you want to go, sir? It won't go too much further. Just plenty of damage being dealt to the Mars. So we should have a quick gander at the mid lane as well, John. You've got Mamangdaya and Bob there against each other. Two very toxic heroes playing against each other, I might add. It's the Batrider and the Viper. Pretty disgusting kind of lane. At least for now, though, it is favoring Bob in terms of CS. In fact, it's favoring him quite heavily in terms of farm. 15 in comparison to the 7 of Mamangdaya, so over double the CS right now for the Bat. Mamangdaya, it's one of those things with the Viper. If you're not able to apply that pressure during the laning stage, it does feel like the hero kind of drops off. And for now, Bob is not having any issues.
Yeah, it's the matchup. It just favors the Batrider. You can clear out the creep wave a lot easier by just building up napalm stacks. Mamangdaya can't afford to really go Nether Toxin in this lane, so you can't really clear out the creep wave as fast. He's missing out on some CS. He's still getting some levels, and Bob hasn't run him down yet. So that's a bit of a positive, but as you said, Mike, if the Viper doesn't go off to a fast start, it's not the most flash farmy hero. It kind of just wants to get going very early on, and Narman's going to make himself present early on just to ensure that the water runes will be taken by Neon. So they're denying the top up here for Bob, which does mean that that'll limit his sticky napalm spam just a tad bit. I don't think he minds too much. Even though he's not finding kills, he is getting the farm. That's going to lead to really fast travels for Bob if left unchecked.
Absolutely, and speaking of great farm right now, Nando's having a fantastic time, though. I may have spoken too soon again, John, because he has been caught out by the spear, and it looks like he is set to fall, but no, the turnaround now, back in on the Mars. Oh, they've got him, Nando. He's going to get away with murder, it seems, as Narman. He cannot go too much further. Carlo's going to be there with Vincenzo, and eventually they'll get a double kill for Nando. Oh, that's rough. For OB.Neon, that is just a disgusting sight.
Oh yeah, great rotation out from Carlo to kind of help them secure that next kill. They just don't have enough follow-through to take care of Nando. Like, Vincenzo is doing such a great job of just putting his body forward, ensuring that some of that intention is just diverted away, and it's just the stun stacking. Like, the Ogre's damage is pretty darn good, magic damage is kind of ripping through Enryu and Narman early on, and even if they have the doubled stun, even if they've got the physical output with the God's Rebuke and, amping that up with a Blightstone and a little Shredder, they're kind of falling behind. So Execration already off to a really clean start for EO. They might find more again.
Again, onto Enryu. They really like to just focus down this Mars, and Enryu, he's known to play a very mean Mars, but considering how bad of a start he's having, it might be a pretty tough time to recover as Carlo now takes a kill on the Weaver. And I suppose the only real good thing happening for OB.Neon is the fact that Palos is top of the CS board right now. So at least your anti-mage is farming quite decently. And as I say that, Abeng actually cancels the TP for himself as Kamizu now, thinking he might be able to keep the chase up. Does at least cancel the salve off, and in fact, Abeng, he may have needed to just TP, because now Bob might just take the kill. And it looks like he will, as Kamizu will tip Abeng for that. And Bob will say thank you very much. In fact, now Mamangdaya being dived already into the tier 1 tower. Lasso's there. They'll find another. Double kill for Bob.
Yeah, I mean, I like that little cheeky play. I think Abeng was just looking to try to secure the refill up and just deny that away from Bob by putting his body forward. It does cost them a lot more. Like, the space is coming through for Palos, as you pointed out, Mike. Our AM is going to hit a very fast Battle Fury timing. It's just everyone else is sacrificing a little bit too much for that. Like, we talked about the early timings of Viper. It doesn't feel like Mamangdaya is going to get off to that running start he needs to have that early presence. He is still trying to itemize towards the Rod of Atos, and with that control up, maybe then you can start playing around, but even with Enryu as well falling behind here, like, your Mars is not going to be able to get that early blink to set up the arena plays, and without some big flamer to stand forward, you're just not going to find those opportunities.
Oh, Mamangdaya again on the Viper, being caught out here by Vincenzo, and Bob lands the flame break, so he will eventually tick out. Another great set of kills here. I mean, Execration, they're just playing these lanes so well. And you've got to give credit to Vincenzo and Carlo. They're the ones rotating and making all this happen. Not something you'd quite expect this early on from an Ogre Weaver support duo, but they've been doing just a great job. And hell, even Kimizu now, he'll join into the mid lane with the exorcism up. And we did see this last game, Jonathan. With the Leshrac, they took a very early tier 1 tower. In fact, every single game they've taken a very early tier 1 mid tower. And they may just get away with it once again.
Yeah, they're set up for it. They're cutting off the defense line of Neon as well. They can't get in position to posture for that mid. And Enryu's not even level 6, so they don't even have the arena to kind of stall this one out.
Well, they will force Kimizu back in the end. So it's basically on its last legs anyway, that tier 1 mid. We'll come back for it later on. The Execration just executing their game plan so darn well at the moment. Among Dyer kind of getting PTSD from the last games. We'll take the stacks immediately, knowing that there is a chance that they will invade this jungle very early. So you better just get it while you can. And again, in the meantime, OB.Neon, they still have Palos. He's farming very well on that anti-mage. Issue is, though, your Luna's farming much better right now, about 400 gold in front in terms of net worth.
Yeah, and it will kind of gap close once the Battle Fury is up for Palos, but I don't think that's a concern for Execration. Since they're finding the objectives, there's not much room for Palos to eventually farm. He's going to have to farm riskier spots. It's always danger for the air.
He's dropping again, John. He's going to drop to Carlo. And looks like this Weaver, no, he's going to go down. Mamang Dai does at least get a bit of revenge from the grave. It's now Narman going to be chased. Fire Blast will be there, and Bob, he'll go for the chase down with the Firefly. He will at least find the Snapfire, but they will get Vincenzo as a trade. It's now Bob. He needs his own way out. Kimizu, he's going to be there to try and help out. Lasso is up, but they don't have the mana to throw it out, so instead he'll go after a Beng just with the Firefly and the sticky napalm stacks. A Beng one hit away from dying. Bob really wants his kill, and eventually with the flame break, he might have a triple as Enryu's ticket out to the fire damage, but he barely survives. Still, Bob will walk away with the double. You've got to be happy with that.
No, you're definitely quite pleased with yourself there from Execration. That forces Palos to even show up, so he's not hitting creeps in that downtime. He's trying to help his team out, looking for an opportunity to use the Mana Void there. He doesn't really find the angle. So that great farm you have in the AM, he's still starting to lag severely behind Nando, who does have the Mask of Madness up, Mike, and the Luna just farms supremely faster with that early item pickup. The Battle Fury is still set for a good time for Palos, but it's all about stalling out after that to hit the item spikes you need to really get the AM rolling. I don't think Execration is going to give you too much room to breed. Travel, it's up on Bob. He's just set to go for a smoke and look for another gank attempt.
They're going to find Mamang Daya. That poor Vipers, Vincenzo just rushing right forward, ignoring Narman completely. And that'll be another kill onto the Viper as Narman. He'll be the cherry on top here for Bob. Another double kill on the Bat Rider. And Bob the Wrecker showing up for game 3, I'll tell you, John. Very kind of devastating performance here from our Bat thus far. And it's hard to see Execration slowing down at this rate. I mean, it's such a dominant game thus far. I don't see why you'd slow down.
No, they should just keep this death ball going. Sheepu called it out in the panel. They just need to run and gun, take towers, play around her ults, and ensure that there's no room to breed here for Neon's end. Palos, I mean, he's just trying to farm a small camp. Even that's a bit of a struggle here for him.
Yeah, because they are wrapping. Kimizu, he'll land the silence. I'm not sure if they have enough damage to get the kill in time, and they won't. But I think the objective is to just keep forcing Palos away from those farming positions. And OB.Neon, well, they're going to be forced to rotate up top and try to respond to this. Bang. Wards down. Stomp will be there and does land on 2. You've still got Nando around, but he doesn't really have Eclipse anyway. So Arena's going to be dropped. And with the Mortimer's Kisses, they are going to be able to find a double kill for Enryu now. So a nice set of kills for OB.Neon. Something they desperately needed for themselves.
Yeah, that does punish the aggression of Execration quite nicely and will help accelerate NU's blink timing, which will allow Neon to, again, force more fights, kind of line up for bigger arenas, maybe take care of the backline, maybe catch out that Luna and spear her up, get the kisses on top, and follow-up fights. And that's really important for Neon. So great big kills coming true. I think you are kind of taking a compromise there where, again, you have to worry about the Luna, you have to worry about Nando hitting very fast BKB timing, because once that BKB is up on the Luna, the Mars counter, it just doesn't feel like it's really there. Like, you're not really going to be able to pin her down anymore.
Well, Well, they found at least a target here onto Vincenzo, but Bob, he's going to get involved. He's got Mamang Dyer again, and look at the damage output. It's just not fair. Mamang Dyer is going to burn out to Bob pretty much solo, and he couldn't do anything about it, as they will continue for more now. Narman, the poor old birthday boy, is going to be the second to drop. They might at least find a Weaver. The spear out from Enryu. Might be enough lockdown, but no, Carlo's fine. He's going to Sakuchi. Oh, maybe not a bang. He does get the kill, but Enryu is going to be traded for that. And it's just not worth it for OB.Neon. In fact, now Execration, having that many kills down, they'll just go after that bottom tier 1 tower and easily take it thanks to Kamizu.
Yeah, they've got that push potential. Again, with his draft, they're just playing so well with these cooldowns and, you know, finding those opportunities to play around. Look for the team fight, get objectives, pull back, reset, go back in. They've got the blink up now on Bob Mike, so easy initiation coming out for Execration. Going to be much more speedy on jumping in on the here and just bursting them down. Good news for Neon though. They've got the Battle Fury up on Palos, but he is still lagging behind. This is the moment where Neon has to stall out. They have to play as 4 or just drag attention away from Palos to ensure the AM investment will work out. He did not go for boots though. This is a naked Battle Fury, but it's one of those games where you just have to kind of get what you can now on that anti-mage.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, it's just a very desperate situation for OB.Neon as Mamang Dyer. He's trying, John. He's just trying to keep the lanes pushed out, but every single time he shows on the map, they just chase him down. And Execration will continue with the tips out as mid lane. Who else have they got? They have found Narman on the Snapfire, and there's nothing Narman can do about it. Another great kill here for Execration, as they are looking for a little bit more, but OB.Neon, they'll hide in that Dire triangle for now. But hell, Execration, they might look at that top tier 2 tower. I mean, only 14.5 minutes in, but once you've got Exorcism back up in about 40 seconds, you may as well.
Yeah, nothing to hold them back. There is the threat of an arena. Enryu does have the blink flying in here, so there's an angle that Neon can take. They've got the kisses to back that up, and they will smoke put that item timing on Enryu. So let's see if they find the angle here, Mike. That tier 2 is melting pretty darn fast, even without the exorcism.
Well, Carlo's going to be there to break the smoke, but they've got Nando. Oh, no, they don't. He's got the BKB up already, so Enryu's just going to drop to the Eclipse, as now they go for more. Narman, he's trying to run out of there. It's not looking great for him, though, as he will turn onto Carlo. It does force him back, and now Mamang Dyer's shown up. So they do get something. They'll get Vincenzo down, they will protect Narman. It's still not great news, though. I mean, they lost the top tier 2 tower, they lost Enryu. Somehow Palos went down at the bottom of the map. It looks like Bob picked him off solo. So even worse news for OB.Neon.
Yeah, I mean, they don't really manage to defend that tier 2. They lose their AM. So now, because the tier 2 is gone, Outpost is open. Roshan is very open for Execration. And they held on to the Exo, Mike. It's going to be a very quick Rosh with Kimizu committing the spell for the Aegis instead. Nando's going to be protected with a second life. And Neon, they don't have any spells to play with. They use Arena, they use Kisses. There's no follow-through for this. There's a double damage on the bot rune spot as well. And as is tradition, Roshan into DD. Abeng will grab it, denying that swing around for Execration, but I don't think they're going to be too dissuaded. We're still at 16 minutes in. There's a 9k lead for Execration. The map is already growing very naked for the side of Neon. And it's all still stemming back to Palos just having to carry this game out of his mind, but our aim's just not ready for that. Everyone else has been sacrificed to allow the aim to farm up to that point, Mike.
Absolutely. This is pretty much the reason why you don't see anti-mage anymore. It's because this playstyle is quite detrimental if you do fall behind, and we talked about this earlier on in the game. You were very reliant on winning out your lanes, and that just did not happen. The Execration just able to win out pretty much every single lane. Just slow down OB.Neon, not allow them to run their draft the way they do want to run it. We do have a 3-man smoke up again. Bob, Nando, and Vincenzo just running right into that dive triangle. Abeng, though, he's going to be there to tank the gank and break the smoke. Bob, however, he's going right after Palos, and he does find Enryu instead. Why the hell not? Just pick up a mask for your trouble. And Enryu, he misses the spear on the arena, which means he's going to go down. And would you believe it, John? Mamang Dai will probably be the next one to drop, as he gets another tip out from Nando. Just absolutely zero mercy here from Execration.
No, they're just hitting all their spikes, Mike. I don't think we pointed this out earlier on. Vincenzo has been running around with a veil for a long time, so the magical burst on hand from Execration just gets amped up so much more. It's so easy for Bob to run anyone down. So easy for anyone from Neon to melt. There are no early Glimmer Capes, no pipe to block the magic damage off. It's just a bit early for Neon to have any of those up, considering their itemization and how the lanes went. So Execration are still well and truly in their big power spike with this deathfall. Mid tier 2 faults, only one outer tower left for Neon and Palos.
Yeah, I mean, they waited a long time for that Blink TP and they knew exactly where he was going to go. I mean, Execration, they're just reading OB.Neon like a book. Especially Bob. Bob's just been fantastic on this Batrider. Yeah, it just continues to blink the exact way everyone's going.
Oh,
they found another.
Narman.
Yeah, Narman. Happy birthday, Narman. You'll go down. The Execration, they show up to the party, John. They just blow out Narman's candles. Not very nice.
Yeah, they're throwing the cake to his face, as is tradition in some spots. Still, not the best of times now for Neon. 13k deficit, 24-8. It feels like we've kind of missed out on that early spike for Mamang Daya. Enry is trying to be sneaky here, hanging in the backline, but I think Carlos got an idea as to where everyone's at. And of course, you've got Bob running up. So it looks like while the action breaks out bot, they're going to look for the kills up top. And Enryu.
Carlo, he gets another TP cancellation onto Enryu, and now Bob's here. He hasn't got the mana for the lasso, but it won't matter. He doesn't need it. Tips out to Abeng now as he just disappeared. And OB.Neon, I mean, you kind of pointed it out, but all eggs are in the Palos basket. And that basket is not looking too great at the moment. It just needs more time. Much more time. Problem is, Execration, they're not intending on giving that time away. No way in hell.
Yeah, they're just constantly on top of the pressure. Oh no, Opting.
It's starting to look like a pub game here, John. Snando just goes down to the Eclipse. Narman's just running back to the base now as they are looking towards... I was going to say T2 mid-tower, John, but there's no T2 mid-tower.
Yeah. There are no outer towers left. Yeah, just high ground left. They've still got Aegis for a minute. Oh,
nice spear back, though. They've got the Luna. She does have an Aegis up. There's your lasso as well. Right onto Mamang Daya. They want that Viper Dep, but Bob, he's dropping low, but not quite low enough. Not before Palos and Mamang Daya both end up going down. Onto the tier 3 they go. Spear out from Enryu is not going to help their cause as Carlo. I mean, he does drop eventually, but it is at the cost of the Mars. Still, Mamang Daya is back in onto the Luna, and they do at least get Nando down. Not too bad. But OB.Neon, they successfully hold the tier 3. But it was looking a bit rough there for a second.
Yeah, it's still a good defense. I mean, that's a massive gold swing for the way of Neon, considering the streaks you had on Execration. I think Bob was 10-0 when he died. You were 6-0 on Nando as well in Luna right before dropping. So it's a lot of swing back to Neon. And it's even though you're not getting it on your AM, you are getting it on your Viper, you're getting it on your Mars, who are still really pivotal for this point of the game of Neon. So still a worthwhile trade. Their high ground still stands. I think Execration have to be a bit cautious about going in that far. They were really aggressive. They didn't have the Eclipse to back them up, as that was committed on the Abing solo pickoff. So, you know, Neon are finding these openings. Whenever Execration get a bit too hasty, get a bit too aggressive, commit too many big spells, Neon can kind of jump in, play defensively with the Arena Kisses combination, get the Earth Splitter on top, and still have an opportunity to melt some of these heroes. Issue is they can't really transition to an objective, but they'll try for mid at the least with a smoke up, but they don't really have the angle. So, I mean, that's one big issue, Mike. Like, and they find the kills, sure, they can defend the high ground. Tier 1 still stand. So there's not much map space for you to actually just catch up right now.
Certainly is not. I mean, Palos is trying. He's only 3k behind Nando on that Luna at the moment, but it is still an anti-mage. It needs much more than Luna does. Execration. There's still no Roshan to play for, but they can certainly just keep all the lanes pushed out and control that dire jungle. In fact, they're already pinging up that top tier 3 tower now. I mean, you do have pretty much every spell up apart from Exorcism, but that's up in 4. So they certainly want to try and make a play onto an objective if they can. Because every second they wait is another second that Palos is able to hit creeps. He does now have the Manta up. Working on towards that eye of Skadi, but mid lane, Bob, he's going to find a target, and of course it's Mamangtire again. So the Viper's gone immediately, and Bob, he wants to chase down Enryu. You know they want that Mars, and they've got him. 2 down. That's Mamangtire with a dieback. And Execration should have a very easy route to the high ground.
They only really had to expend Lasso. They've still got the Exorcism. They've got the Eclipse ready for a bigger team fight on the high ground. And I believe you've got the full Shadowblade, maybe even the full Silver Edge up for Nando already flying out. So the damage of our Luna is going to skyrocket to this point. Neon, respawns are short, but they don't have Arena. I think that's the big key that they're lacking in the defense. Narman can try to stall them out with the kisses, but without the setup, I don't think you're really going to be finding big kills here.
They go, tier 3 tower now under siege, and you've got that Exorcism up, so it's kind of hard to defend this for OB.Neon. They may have to let this one go down, but Enryu, he'll TP in and try to set up something. Spear is there. They've got the Luna. It's a lot of damage, and they burst him down. All right, Nando's gone. You'll lose Narman as a trade, but it's still a great one for OB.Neon. They'll buy back on Narman. Kimizu is still trying to secure the lane of barracks. However, he's starting to drop low. Goes to down. He's going to rely on right clicks, but he does not have enough. Oh, he was 1 away, and everyone just left him alone.
Great timing on the Yields, kind of cut off the last bit of the Exo regen as well. So he was already topped up anyway, but do manage to burst him down in the end. And they hold on to the high ground still here for the side of Neon. They lose the tier 3, but it costs a lot from Execration to get that done. And they're still in the game. Palos has the Manta up, so he's a bit more protected on that aim. He can start jumping around looking for these opportunities.
A very nice kill there onto Vincenzo as Carlo's going to show up. In preparation of trying to defend that tier 1 mid, but there is really no defending it. Let's go down the way of OB.Neon. Of course, that Roshan going to be very important now for either side. I mean, I can't quite say OB.Neon's really in a position where they can actually contest the Roshan 5v5, but we'll find out in 45 seconds. I mean, you know Execration's going to rush for it. They've certainly got what it takes to take it as well with this Luna DP.
Yeah. I think we're reaching the point where Neon's teamfight is starting to shape up, especially when they see early BKB committals coming through from Execration. So that provides an opening for Enryu to get good arenas off, the kisses to come out with the damage. The Earth Splitter with its scaling damage is always going to be relevant as well. I think Execration has to kind of respect the output of Neon as they overextend on the high ground, they get punished. They do have some saving tools on Execration side of Mike. Ags up for Carlo. So time lapse on allies is ready and they're going to smoke with that.
Oh, he's going to miss out on the lasso. Instead, he'll go after a Bang. Not quite finding the Mars he initially wanted, but it won't matter if they can at least find something. In fact, a Bang, he's going to try and TP out, but they've got plenty of ways of cancelling that. Enryu, oh, he's gone down. DD Rune spawned up, and no. Roshan's up. Of course.
Yeah. Yep. That timing's still there. Still not patched out. Into the Roche they go for Execration side. Neon now without the Mars probably won't be able to contest. They don't have the vision as well in the Roche pit, but they are aware that something's up. The best they can hope for now is just pull back, get Paulus up and running. He's almost got the Scotty, Mike. So our aim is starting to get pretty fat and tanky. The issue is, will it be enough for the high ground hold? That is the Aegis and Shard going the way of Nando. So you can spam out the Lucent Beams for some more glaives flying through to do more damage out. Neon, we've seen them hold the high ground really well. It's got to come through once more. They've got to get Nando's 2 lives away and kind of find the angle to deal with him, right? Because when Enryu gets to good arenas, when the follow-up's there, the damage is there from Neon. They just need to work really hard to force Execration to overextend their way.
It just makes it that much harder. Like, you've got a DD rune on Nando. So, like, if it wasn't hard enough to get through this Luna with the Aegis, he's got a double damage now. Working on towards that butterfly, so they may not rush for the high ground yet. They may just wait out that B fly first. So we are going to have a quick pause out here. It's like we do have some mouse issues. Hopefully not a real mouse and just, you know, your computer peripherals.
Yeah, hopefully. You know, I've had actual mouse issues in the house, Mike.
Oh,
It's,
what
it's
happened?
not
John?
pleasant. Well, sometimes I'm doing dishes at 2 a.m. I take a look. There's a little scurrying shadow. The traps aren't catching them. The squeaking's all around the house. It's not just mice as well in my house, Mike. There are bats around here as well. I constantly hear, you know, they're echoing out, crying around. It's something else. So, a good thing for Execration, it's not real mice or flying mice as well. You do get back in the game.
Why are you doing dishes at 2 a.m. in the morning, John?
I ask myself the same question, Mike, and I can't come up with any good answer.
All right, fair enough. Execration, they're going to smoke up. There is going to be a scan out. Not going to really lead to much, though. Does at least allow them to avoid the smoke as Nando. He's going to jump in. Mamang Daya, he was too far forward. Down with that buyback on that Viper. They do go back for that mid-rats. No problem for Execration. You see Bob having a fish around, see if he can find someone. Mind you, he does not have lasso up, but it does not really matter. Snarman, scatter blast off the mark. Enryu, not going to land the spear either. Carlos will jump in himself now, but the Force Staff was there. And OB.Neon, if they expect to defend this, they've got to commit for the team fight. Again, it is very difficult into the DD rune and the Aegis of Nando. For now, though, they'll let the 2 Raxes fall. Problem is Execration, they're not done. They want to go for a third and get the Megas up. Neon in position. Oh, Palos trying to sneak up from the backside, but it's not going to work out. It's now Nando. He'll get to work. Palos, he's going to back off though and be just fine. So they are still trying to find a way into this team fight. Kamizu will jump in. Mamang Daya and Enryu being siphoned up. They pop their BKBs. They're going to force the fight now onto the supports. Just go after the Oka and the Weaver. They'll be able to find both. Meanwhile, Nando, he'll just keep it up. Keep going after Mamang Daya. He'll get the Viper down again. But this time he does have buyback. They at least get through the Aegis of Nando. But they lost Enryu and Palos. He's not looking healthy. He'll try to man fight, but it is not going to work out. They've got buybacks. They will be able to protect that last lane of barracks, at least for now, but perhaps not for long. As Narman, he is going to get crit on the last hit. Very unlucky there for our Snapfire. Nando, he'll move back in. Buybacks or not, and never mind, GG's call. OB.Neon, they cannot defend this.
Yeah, I mean, they tried. There were some shining moments there for Neon, Mike. The high ground defense, they managed to punish Execration twice over when they were overextending for that tier 3. But in the end, I think the lanes just didn't match up for Neon, right? Like, they couldn't get that overwhelming start they wanted with the Viper. Execration just managed to really get this draft that they're very comfy with. They go back to the Bob Batrider. They go back to this really good tempo coming through with the Luna as well for Nando, and they just managed to build up. You know, OB.Neon tried to go for the AM. We talked a little bit about it at the start. So much pressure on Palos to deliver, but his lane wasn't an easy one. His Battle Fury time was decent for the hard lane, but he couldn't get enough space to really build up, and Execration just ran him down with a death ball.
And that's why you never pick AM in your pubs, kids. It just never works. With that, though, we are going to head off to a short break, and right after that break, of course, we'll be back with our lovely panel to discuss this best of 3 overall. We'll see you then.
Execration showed up for that last game. They woke up. I mean, that second game, we already see Execration in their full glory, and I think they just brought this to the third game. Though, to be honest, there was a little bit of help from the anti-mage.
Yeah.
We have a questionable pick.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
you can only control what's on your side of the draft, and they drafted well and played their draft to its strength, and hey, they got a little help from OB.Neon, who, for some weird reason, last picked AM.
The rest of the
Not
draft
good.
was
Dude.
fine, honestly. I don't understand that final pick.
I love Carlos so much. This guy just buys Atos on Weaver, which is like beautiful. These other Weavers, they're like, I have to go Ags at all costs. It is
Yeah.
what we picked the Weaver for.
What you call them, bot weavers?
Yeah, a little bot Weaver. I mean, something go like Vessel sometimes as well, but like I really just loved the Atos pickup because we saw him running around with Bob's Batrider, getting kills together because when Batrider's lasso is down, he doesn't have a way to cancel TP. Neither does Weaver, but by buying the Atos, it meant that they had like constant uptime kills. They were able to kill Anti-Mage with no lasso due to this Atos. They were able to cancel Mars's TP and then kill him as well. Like this Atos on Carlos Weaver just enabled so many plays. It made him such a high impact Weaver. He's such a good 4 player.
As for Bob, to go on a
Bob.
tangent, sorry, I feel like I'm being a bad co-panel, so I should be like, yes. Weaver, fantastic. I want to touch upon,
Thank you.
but yes, Bob's Batrider. I think that's the other key here. This guy, level 28, Dota plus Batrider, able to just take over the game from getting kills in the mid lane to just running in like 1v3 situations, getting kills, getting out. Very impressed by his bat, and he wasn't like the Batrider of like a few patches ago where it's super greedy, let's farm all over the map. He was just focused on getting involved in kills and applying pressure. So I really liked what Bob did, and I think it really synergized well with Carlo going for this aggressive item build. They just kept hunting the AM as well, making it so that there was no farm anywhere on the map for AM.
When you counter pick with a bad item mid, I think you have to destroy, right? Like that's the expectations, and
Yeah.
Bob delivered.
It was
Very
really
well.
good. I was a little bit worried when Execration decided to high ground at 20 minutes in with Luna's Aegis.
Yes.
I was like, maybe they should have used this as like a farming Aegis. Maybe they feel pressured because Anti-Mage, they don't want him to get items or anything, but they really like fed quite a few times into Enryu's Mars. He was getting a lot of spearbacks into tower, and they would just like collapse on them with all their spells. And get kills and push them back and extended the game a little bit. They did that twice, which was maybe against a better team. They actually maybe start to lose the game a bit
Right.
there, or it goes even. Luckily, they were so far ahead that they had like a little leeway for a few mistakes. But yeah, outside of that, I think they just played a really amazing, solid game.
And that's where it's good that they can walk away. Yeah, it's a 2-1, but I feel like game 2 and 3 pretty convincing. But there's still a lot to learn from it. They can look at rushing those high ground pushes, see how other teams handle those situations. Like you say, use it as a farming Aegis, control the map. Anyone pokes their nose out, kill them with a Batrider. They didn't have to go high ground, even though people maybe don't want to sit and watch this game and just watch them like farm the map. At some point, you got to play it safe when you're trying to close games out, particularly against heroes with repositioning like Mars.
And here, to me, the best story is that Execration, we look at him from the Motivate Trust match that they played last week, and now, it's just a completely different team, honestly. Like, we can actually see improvements here. Kimizu is meshing much better with the team, and this is my and your expectations of them from the beginning, Gods. I know that you were also, like, thinking they were potentially a contender to beat some of the top teams. Maybe not get top 4, but, actually go toe-to-toe with them.
Yeah. I'd say maybe like their ceiling would be getting even third, fourth place.
Could be.
But obviously after week 1 that looks a bit more doubtful. But I'd be surprised if this team gets relegated. I think they're really good. They've stuck together for the most part for some time now. They mesh well. They play together well. And if Kimizu can fit in, then yeah, things should go well for them.
Yeah, I love the look of this Execration. If they can bring this to like Fnatic, who have not looked like on top form, then I could see them taking a game there. I definitely, like, after this performance, I don't see them getting relegated. Like you said, I completely agree. I think this was strong. This made me, like, feel confident about this team.
That's good. I think for OB.Neon, though, honestly, the execution, there was a couple of mistakes here and there, but I do feel like their biggest issue was their drafting. But we're going to have to table out for a second because we're going to talk to the winners now. Ooh. We have Carlo here for the winners interview. Hello, Carlo. How you doing?
Hello, all good. I'm doing fine.
Yeah, you played an incredible series, dude. Congratulations.
Thank you.
We are all big fans of you on the panel.
Yes.
Even the game that you lost, Deb Marana, was incredible, man. How did you feel then?
I was just feeling the vibe here, like like I was relaxed before the game, so I can think properly when inside the game.
Yeah. How's the atmosphere with your team? How do you guys get along? I know you guys have been together for a long time, so is there a good friendship vibe going around?
Actually, we usually do our stuff together. Like we eat together. go out together. Like we do these things together, so the relationship with each other will get more stronger. Because I know, like, the more you guys are close outside the game, you can bring it inside the game, like the chemistry.
Nice. Is there any activity that you guys do together you like? Like, do you watch movies or do you, I don't know, do escape rooms? It's something you like a lot?
Uh, we usually do basketball when it's our
Oh,
free time.
that's cool.
Nice. Do you watch it? Do you follow NBA?
No.
Oh,
I mean, some of my teammates
Okay.
like they watch because yeah, they watch NBA
Okay.
games.
sorry, that was not a Dota question. I just got excited for a second.
I have a dope question.
Go
Okay.
for it.
So in your Mirana game, you went Scythe of Vice pretty much first IM. I was curious, when do you decide if you can go for like such a greedy IM first, as opposed to like something smaller?
Because I was thinking if I go Ags, it's not gonna be okay with the Nightmare combo, right? Like if you arrow, there will be a Starfall. So I was just thinking I just get Shipstick, so additional disable for the team, and I think it pretty worked well, but we lost the game.
Yeah, I mean, it looked really good.
Yeah, you
I
looked
liked it a
really
lot,
good that
yeah.
game. Yeah.
I am curious. Kamizu was brought in pretty last minute for your team. How has it been adjusting? And for you, you're laning with him as the 4 position. Has it been hard for you to adjust playing with a new player?
uh, it was hard at first, but we really need to grind. Like Kimizu is still a young player, so he still have a lot of potential, and I think he's doing great.
Okay. What was your reaction when Neon last picked anti-mage in that game?
I think we're confident we're gonna win the game because their lineup was a bit greedy. Like we know who to shut down first. We know we need to just shut down the Viper so they don't have the early phase. We know the Viper will give the space for the AM, so we know who to shut down that game.
Who
So AM cannot farm late game.
who makes the calls in this in the game? Who's the shot caller for
Uh,
you guys?
Usually it's me and RR, but most of the time, I mean mid game to late game, it will be the chorus, Bob and Nando.
What's the deal with RR with the new name, Vincenzo? Do we still call him RR?
Uh, I I think so, yes, but I think he changed his name to Vincenzo because he's a fan of that Korean movie K-drama. I forgot
Okay.
which is.
Well, no, I think my panelists asked you all they had to ask you. I mean, congrats again on the performance. It was a genuine pleasure to watch you. You're on the up and up here. Before though, I'll let you go. I have just one final small question. Do you feel you come from a loss in the first week? You go to victory now. Do you guys feel like you've improved as a team? Do you because it looks that way?
Uh, yeah, I believe we improved a lot ever since we lost that game to MTG, and we still have a lot to improve for the upcoming days.
Okay. So
And yeah,
we'll see you
and
stronger then next
mm,
next week.
yeah.
Okay.
Team-
What do I shout to support you? If I want to support you, what do I need to spam in the Twitch chat? What is it that I need to say for you?
Just spam X shot.
Extra shot?
Nice.
Yeah.
Okay. Fantastic. Thank you so much for being here, and it's been a pleasure, Carlo. And we're gonna see you hopefully next week, man. Congrats on your win again.
Thank you. I'm gonna see you again next week because we're gonna win.
Awesome.
Goodbye.
Bye.
What a nice
Yeah,
outro,
sweet.
dude. What a confident
Yeah.
lad.
Love 'em.
It's great to talk to like some of these new players that maybe like not the big names in the SC Dota scene. They're great personalities.
Yeah, seriously. I mean, dude, it's hard when you talk to a player that just had like a great game. You just want to compliment them the whole time. You're
I
like,
know.
you
Like, oh
played
my
s-
god, I love your Mirana. Oh,
Yeah,
find
yeah.
my Steam profile.
That's how I feel, to be honest. Trying harder to fanboy over the. I mean, it's crazy because the game we were praising him on is the one that he lost, but it doesn't matter
It was
because he
so
played
good.
so well.
Yeah. I
Yeah.
loved his. Oh, his weave was so good as well.
Yeah, honestly.
Actually,
we-
beast.
Let's go into the other teams, guys. We got fanboyed for a bit, but now we have to see the standings. And the standings have changed ever so slightly. We actually now have a team that has managed to win and lose, or two teams that have managed to win and lose one, which is Fnatic and Execration. So they're starting to be the middle of the table teams. Motivate Trust still topping the charts, but no change there. And at the bottom, OB.Neon now with 2 losses and TNC Predator with 3. Looking rough for TNC Predator. They're going to have to really, really bring their A game in the next weeks if they don't want to be relegated. And OB.Neon, not that bad. 2 losses are not that big a deal yet, but because the other teams are starting to get their own wins, I need to do the same.
Yeah, and it also comes down to like who you've played. OB.Neon losing to Execration, one of the teams they got to imagine is a bit more beatable. Because to stay alive, you have to finish better than 2 teams. So they have to ask themselves, which 2 teams are we going to be? They're probably looking at TNC, who are 0-3, and then where do you get that second win, which is a tough ask right now for OB.Neon.
Let's look at the opportunities they'll have this week as we go into the schedule for tomorrow. Tomorrow, we have a lot of hype Div 2 matchups and a really nice Div 1 as well.
Spicy.
As we start with Nigma Galaxy SCA versus Talon Esports. If you're looking into Div 2, the newcomers or the new orgs coming into the region, this is the matchup you want to watch, especially if you're not an SCA viewer. But if you're an SCA viewer, you know that the true value in this region is in the teams that don't have the big sponsors, and that's where Polaris Esports versus Lil Gun comes in. Lil Gun, the talk of the town last season, indeed. And then we finalized the day with the spiciest matchup. One of the teams that might be able to actually do T1 in. It's going to be T1 versus Team SMG, the true trial by fire for SMG.
Tomorrow looks so sick. Like, only one Division 1 game, but honestly, both those Division 2 games feel like teams that could be in Division 1 next season. Most people have teams like NGX, Polaris, and Talon Esports as potential favorites, and Lil Gun. Well, I don't even think they're favorites down there, but they were used to be an upper division team. They're known for all their cheesy picks. They love their Meepos. They love their Huskers. They pick all kinds of wild stuff. So honestly, tomorrow looks like the most exciting SEA day we've had yet. So
I'm pretty excited for those matches. Oh, I like Alacrity's Meepo as well. And they got some Meepo pickers down there. Div 2, disgusting place.
That's great. That's what we want, you know. It's better than Div 2 full of Vipers, you know, or OD Pudges.
Mars.
Yes, please give me a game without Mars. But we're gonna have to bid you guys adieu as we close off today's broadcast. We are so excited for tomorrow, so we just gotta leave to make sure that tomorrow comes by a little bit sooner. If you enjoyed today's broadcast, remember to follow Beyond the Summit. You can also check the Twitter to follow any sort of news for the SCA region. We do recommend that you tune into most of the games. Of course, you can always watch the VODs, but if you tune in live, you can see the true love of the SCA fans for their region. Hopefully, you guys do that tomorrow, either for Div 2 or Div 1 games. For now, my name's been Noah. Plus, I'm here with the wonderful Sheepo and Gods for the Beyond the Summit Winter Tour for SCA Div 1 coverage. And we'll see you guys tomorrow.